Hi, this is a quick lesson of experiments with Flared2. For those who are already familiar with Flared, the user interface has remained more or less the same. The steps to get the flare are very simple. Select a light source, such a light, a cube or an empty, then select a preset to use as a base for your flare. By pressing the plus button, the lens flare becomes visible only when you are in camera view. We can start analyzing some of the new presets available in Flared2. At the moment, there are 61 presets and we are developing more. Everything is much easier compared to the first version of Flared. Creating new preset is simple for both us and you. Now you can do it yourself without our intervention. You can create a preset, a template, for your flares, save it and load it directly. You have a custom folder that can be placed anywhere on your hard drive and a default folder. In the default folder, you will find preset created by us, while in the custom folder, you will find presets you have created and imported. When a flare is active, you have the option to export it as a custom preset or as a zip file, which can then be imported elsewhere. Presets can be shared, and this is a feature we are focusing on. Flared has become a powerful tool for creating lens flare while still remaining easy to use. It allows you to create and share your lens flares. Another new feature is that Flared continues to work even when uninstalled. If you need to render in a render farm, which was complicated with Flared1, it's now simple. Even if Flared isn't installed, the scene can still be rendered. Of course, without Flared, it's impossible to add or remove lens flares, but everything already in the scene works correctly. I am now loading some presets to show you the quality and power of Flared2. Everything is based on geometry nodes, which make it very smooth and easy to update or fix bugs. Each flare consists of several parameters and elements such as sun rays, starbursts, light, glow, streaks, up, halo, and other customizable effects like lens dirt. For example, if we increase the brightness and adjust the range, we can set the dust effects on the lens. We can modify its intensity, width, and scale. There's also a light leak effect, which is very subtle and appears when the light is perpendicular to the camera. As you can see, the effects are very complex and different elements can overlap within the flare. At the moment, almost all the available elements are active. In other flares, however, fewer elements are at work, meaning that some flares are much less complex. For example, this preset is much simpler and has only a ghost here that works with a starburst. There's probably also some dust on the lens. These presets have an issue because we just adjusted the dust density. So when I load the preset, the intensity is very strong. As you can see, the flare lights up the dust in its own color. If I now duplicate this lamp and apply the same preset to this lamp, let's do that, then modify the color on this version of the preset, we have many colors available here. The point light color is what affects the dust, so I'll change the point light color to green. I'll make all the colors involved in the building of the flare green, so we have a completely green flare. The dust, as we saw, needs a tweak. It needs to be adjusted a bit. Now we have red and green dust interacting in the same scene. One feature that was missing in Flared1, but we managed to implement here, let's remove a flare. Let's go back to having just one. We will duplicate this lamp and try adding more in the scene. So, okay, we have all these lamps. Let's take them all and apply a new preset to all of them. What can we do? Just to analyze some new situations, let's try adding this. Let's see what happens. We'll add it and replace it everywhere. Okay, as you can see, at the moment, the presence of all this flare is very powerful. Indeed, it's very strong. What can we do? Right now, we're working with the 2D mode active. This means that no matter the distance from our flare, it will always stay the same size. You can see it's always the same dimension. This isn't the final version. As you know, the final version will be available from November 7th, and you still have time to place a free pre-order through the methods you can find on Blender Market or our website. What I wanted to show is this. We now have a series of very powerful and large flares. We can turn them all in 3D by linking. I've now linked all the flares to the selected one, so when I update one of the flare's properties, all the linked flares are updated too. Now I'm updating this one, and all the flares are no longer in 2D mode. What does it mean? If I move away, they become smaller until they disappear. They're working in 3D environment. If I want to use this, for example, to create a tunnel effect, it depends a bit on where they are positioned. Let's remove the cube, take the flares and spread them far apart from each other. Spread these two farther apart, spread this one even more. Okay, let's see now from here. Yes, we can see that the closest one is bigger and brighter, while the others get smaller in the distance. Let's remove the overlays for simplicity. Maybe we don't like this strong hoop effect? No problem. Let's go to the hoop window and decide to reduce the scale of the brightness. Let's update it on all the other flares, and now we've removed the hoop. There's still this halo, which might be too strong and annoying. Without reducing the scale, we can make it disappear by reducing the brightness, and the halo is gone too. If we want, we can do it faster, deactivate hoop and halo, so that we don't even calculate their geometry anymore. This is a first preview of what Flared2 can do. We can still see the anamorphic effect, which wasn't present in the first flare. It's a part of the global parameters. We can activate the anamorphic filter. Now we can see it in real time. The anamorphic is activated. I can decide the anamorphic effect on this flare, going from a completely horizontal situation to a vertical one, which might be necessary in some cases. Set it to 7.5, and at this point, we can copy this parameter to all the other flares by updating the window we were working in. So all the flares will now be anamorphic. I'd like this streak to be slightly taller because it seems barely visible. Let's go to the streak window, which is there, and try increasing the height. The streak becomes taller, and we'll also modify the random parameters and increase the height. Okay, at this point, in the same panel, let's update all the other flares with the same properties. It's all very simple. There's another possibility for multiple edits. I can select all the flares, then copy some properties. I decide which properties to copy from the active flare to the selected ones. The active flare is highlighted in blue, so I can copy properties and I get a window that allows me to choose which properties to copy. In this case, I didn't change anything, so there won't be any changes. It would have been more useful, for example, to change the rays color first. We can make this flare green. At this point, if I wanted to do copy properties from selected, I would just need to copy the custom color and all the flares would take on the same colors. These are two different systems for managing the presence of multiple flares in the scene. I want to delete all the selected flare. If I want to delete all the selected flare, I just need to click Delete Selected Flares. We've removed all the selected flares and are left with just one flare. I hope to make another video where we try to work on a scene to see how the flare will interact with real material. And goodbye, and I hope to have you on board for this new project. Thank you all, and bye.